Hello everyone, I'm Brian. Today I'm writing to Sadhguru at SRCC, New Delhi, Youth and Truth. It's been a while since we did one of these, so I thought we'd get back into it. So let's go ahead and get started.
Namaskaram Sadhguru. There is no need of much elaboration as to how much privileged we are to have you amongst us.
You can introduce yourself.
So I'm Sri Ram.
You were born here?
It so happens. I'm Sri Ram. I'm a third year BCom honors student.
Namaskaram Sadhguru. I am Pranit from Ludhiana and I am a second year BCom student.
Namaskaram Sadhguru. I am Riya. I'm a first year BA Economics honors student.
We all are fortunate to have gotten this opportunity to mediate this event. So when we say mediate, we actually…
mediation comes in only when we have a fight. We don't have a fight,
So, a lot of people had a lot of questions to ask. And we have tried our best, to kind of shortlist them and, put forward whatever is relevant. Sadhguru, all of us sitting in this hall have some goals. And as most of us are students, our goals are at the maximum level. We would like to know, we are very eager to know, when you were of our age, what was that thing which you wanted to become? What was your goal?
Oh. This is beginning like an interrogation. Well, frankly, I had no goal of any kind. To such a point that my father used to, "What will this boy do?" He's not interested in anything. But it was completely wrong because I was interested in so many things. I was not interested in the things that he was interested.
Or perhaps he wasn't focused either, because he was so interested in so many things that he wouldn't focus on one thing maybe too.
I was absolutely interested in many, many things.
Because if he was interested in plants, he'd be a botanist, or if he was interested in chemistry, he'd be a chemist, a focus and interest. But I think Sadhguru's interest was just, freaking wide. He could not focus on one. Probably.
See, when we say goals, we must understand this. From where you are, if you set a goal for your life,
You have a narrow path.
you can only set a goal according to your present level of understanding and knowledge, isn't it? You think you have reached a point where you know everything in the universe? So if you set a goal, what kind of goal will you set? A very meager goal. And if you grow rapidly, you will be terribly disappointed with your own goal. But this has been taught to you in the recent years that you must be goal-oriented. If you… let's say you want mangoes in your house. If you want mangoes, you don't have to think of mangoes. You have to think of soil, you have to think of manure, you have to think of water, you have to think of sunlight. None of them look or taste like mangoes. But if you take care of those things, mangoes will come. But suppose you have a strong desire for mango, but you did nothing about growing a mango tree in your home, you will want to steal it from him, if he has. Yes or no? So if you have goals, what you're calling as goals is just your desires. And your desires are just an outcome of the kind of thought process that you have right now. The kind of thought process that you have right now is only dependent upon the sort of data that you have collected right now. In 20 years' time of life, what kind of data do you believe you have gathered to set a goal for life? Not necessary. So, this is something that I'm bringing about. Recently, every year we have this business, we have a business event in the month of November. Many business leaders come, all the top business leaders have been there. 200 CEOs come every year to train with us for 4 days. So last year, one of them was asking me, who's running a major multinational company, Sadhguru, we pick the best from the IITs and IIMs and we keep paying them more and more and they keep asking for more and more. But when I look at your organization, you pay nothing to any of them and it seems to function many times better than our corporation. What is the secret? I said, see, this is all it is. We are devoted to the process. We are not concerned about the goal. We are absolutely devoted to the process. Because of our devotion to the process of what we are doing right now. If you do not do what you're doing right now well, your goal is just going to be a fancy desire, isn't it? Hello? Yes or no? Hello?
So I kind of wanted to pause and talk a little bit. So in this instance, whenever he was talking about that, the way I interpreted that is that it's not to say that you forget about your goals. It's more along the lines of finding out what you need to do now to achieve your goals. The goal is not what you should be focusing on. You should be focusing on the task at hand to achieve that goal. Because if you're focused on the goal and not the task at hand, that goal is going to be a failure because you're not focused on what it's needed to achieve that goal. Which I was gonna say that if I could find the right part to pause, but I think this is a good one right here, which is exactly what I just wanted to kind of clarify that of how I understood it, and I think I understood it correctly.
Your goal is going to be just a fanciful desire that you made up in your mind, and that is not even yours. Your goals are all borrowed from 10 other people. Whatever is the trend today, that is your goal, isn't it? I would tell the young people, don't set a goal. If you have absolute devotion to what you're doing right now, depending upon the times and the opportunities, we will go as far as we go. But if you're always concerned about the finish line and not the step that you're taking right now, you will fall flat on your face, most probably. If you get to the goal, you will be disappointed. If you don't get there, you will be broken. Most successful people on the planet, I want you to just look at it, don't just go by what I say. Just go on the street and watch people, leave the people who are driving bullock cart and this and that. Just watch those people who are driving BMWs, Mercedes and whatever else, okay? Successful people. Just carefully watch them. How many of them are joyfully driving their BMW? Hello? How many of them are joyfully driving their dream car that they worked for? You will see hardly anybody. Hardly anybody, unless it's a stolen car. So, those who have gotten to their goals are disappointed. Those who could not get there are broken and frustrated. What's the point of a life like this? Your ability to do things is enhanced only when you're absolutely devoted to the process in which you're involved. I'm using the word devotion intentionally because people think devotion means going to the temple. You tell me, in any field, any arena of life, sport, art, music, politics, spirituality, you name it, whatever you want, academics, has anybody reached any significant levels of achievement without being devoted to what they are doing? Hello? Has anybody reached mediocre things they have done? Only those who are absolutely devoted to what they are doing, they have done significant things on this planet, and that's what you must do.
I'll say that to this is the fact that obviously you need a goal. Now, the goal that you set cannot be too stringent. I'm wondering if this is what it means. Because if you set a goal, I want to be the CEO of Amazon, and you try so hard to get there and you don't achieve it because it's quite difficult. That's a very specific goal. And you know, you're like maybe Jeff Bezos, you know, lives for a long time and remains the CEO of it or whatever. and then you eventually not end up reaching your goal because maybe you don't have enough experience, maybe you did get there but there are other people that's been there for a long time. But perhaps maybe saying a more generic goal, a goal that is flexible over time, like I want to be a CEO of a company. That's still specific but more flexible than being the CEO of Amazon. So now when you say a CEO of a company, you could create your own company and you become the CEO of that, or you can work your way up the ladder of any other company that's within reach. So be realistic with your goals and not too hyper specific. CEO of Amazon versus just a CEO versus I want to be the leader of a company. And the leader doesn't necessarily mean CEO. It could be a manager, of not the whole company, but like a store or whatever it may be. The more generic your goal is, at least it will set you in a path. Now, whether that path's correct or not, the only way to know is by taking it. So it's better that I think for me, is to kind of go in a direction that will take you somewhere than to be wandering lost. At least you're heading in a direction, and that direction may not end up in the expected path that you think. But again, I say that obviously not all paths are going to be like that. There are going to be some people who are randomly wandering around and then end up finding their path, but I think that's the minority of people. Again, by going in a general direction, you may end up finding your true path. It's all honestly, it's all chance, but it's better to head in a direction. At least you're going somewhere, than to be wandering lost and take it up to chance, or like maybe I'll randomly run into it. Again, everyone's different. It's not saying that everyone has to head in the general path. You have to look at your life and see what the best path is. Really think about it.
Sadhguru, so as you told us that goals, those who achieve the goals aren't that happy, and those who don't have goals,
I thought I'll just scare you a little bit.
and those who don't have goals are also not happy. But goals are the starting point. But a lot of…
No, please, let me correct this. Is goal a starting point or a finishing line, please? Which is it?
It's both ways.
How is that? How is goal a starting point? Is goal a finishing line or a starting point, please? Please, you must tell me, all of you, is goal a starting line or a finishing line? What is this?
I'll say it's both. And the way I say it's because when you have a goal, and you will know where to start. Having a goal, generally speaking, you could have a goal, it's like, I'm going to be a superhero. Now, how am I going to do that? There are going to be some goals that you don't know where the starting line is at. But there are going to be some goals that you do know where the starting line's at. I want to be the CEO of a company. So you have to work for a company, you have to get a business degree, generally speaking, get a lot of experience, and work your way through the ladder. So by having a generic goal, you do have a starting line. There are going to be, again, you have to really think about what your goal is. If it's too specific, you're going to have difficulties finding that starting line.
But if the goal is something that motivates us to, once we think of a goal in mind…
You're coming to the point now. So, you have been trained like a circus monkey. Circus monkeys are like this. If you want them to do a trick, you have to give them a sweet. Otherwise, I won't do it. One more little sweet. Don't be a circus monkey. I thought we evolved out of being monkeys long time ago. Hello? So, you're only working. What will I get? What will I get? What will I get? What the hell will you get? You'll die one day, that's all. You think you're going to get something in the end? No, you're just going to die one day. The question is only how beautiful and significant and intense of a life that you lived, that's all there is. What will you get in the end? Goal is the end point, isn't it? What do you think you'll get at the end of your life? I want you to visit old age homes, hospices, where people are reaching the end of their life. Just look at them and see what do you think they've gotten? Nothing. Either they lived a profound life or they did not, that's all there is.
Sadhguru, as humans and as especially youngsters have a lot of desires in their lives. But many a times we all are told that be content with what you have. But it comes to my mind that if we are satisfied, won't that lead to an end to progress?
Ooh, that's the thing there. The key word he said is desires. And then wanting. That's exactly samsara or sorrows in life. It's not that you need desires. It's not being content and then just stopping. Understanding that you do need to do things. Understanding that there's things that needs to be achieved, done, but seeking nothing from it. But I'm kind of curious what Sadhguru would say.
Whoever told you about be content, I don't know. I don't know what kind of teachers you have met who told you be content. Well, the word contentment comes from the word containment. If you think containing your life is an answer, this is simply because you're just shit scared of life. That's all it is. See, if you step out into the world, something may happen to you. Possible? Possible? Hey, are we on talking terms or no? What's the problem here? If you step out of the house, something may happen. Anything may happen. Life may happen, death may happen, injury may happen, terrible things may happen, wonderful things may happen. Yes or no? So, one day something little terrible happened to you. So now, you come to your philosophy, don't step out of your house, something terrible may happen to you. Yes, it may happen. But something absolutely wonderful can happen to you. So if you contain yourself, you can avoid both. Essentially, you're trying to insulate yourself against life. People come to me and say, Sadhguru, please bless us, nothing should happen to us. I say, what kind of blessing is this? My blessing is let everything happen to you. Let everything that's life happen to you. Everything that's life must happen to you. First thing you must decide is, have you come here to avoid life or have you come here to experience life? This is something you must decide. Make up your mind, eh? Please make up your mind right now. Have you come here to avoid life or have you come here to experience life? Well, if you want to experience your life, this doesn't mean you must get intoxicated. If you want to experience your life, that doesn't mean every evening you have to party. If you want to experience your life, you must bring this one instrument that you have to experience life to its highest possible sensitivity. If this becomes super sensitive, this will experience everything in the universe. If you keep it dull and lethargic, you will be right here, you won't know what the hell is happening around you. Yes? So, right now, because people are heavily goal-oriented, they don't know what's happening around them, they are only interested in the finish line. Finish line comes as a consequence of a certain efficient process. Finish line does not come because you desire it. Success does not come because you desire it. Success comes because you do the right things. It will not happen to those who are just desiring it. It'll only happen to those who are doing the right things right now.
So that example he says about the finish line is exactly the example I want to use is because in order to get to the finish line, you have to follow the path. You going the opposite direction of the finish line, you're never going to get there. So this is the reason why about excuse me, goal orientation, or your goals being too specific. I wanted to be the CEO of Amazon. Your finish line is probably 25,000 million miles away, and you're huffing and puffing, taking as much shortcuts as possible to get there. I want to be the CEO of a company. Oh, there's now it's half the distance. Maybe there's one I'll see on the pathway over there. Maybe I'll find another one that's not that one. But as I run and as I get better, I can see other paths. Or it's like, what's the other one? I want to be a manager or something. Again, easier goals, but don't how to say, don't look at it as necessarily settling, but as a progression. Again, small goals of achievement. Something so that if you're not in, I don't like saying this, if you're not enlightened, because obviously if you're enlightened, you won't suffer anything, so you can progress to these things even if you fail. You can progress to these things and fail and not suffer. You don't have to. I don't believe you have to be enlightened to not suffer things. I certainly don't suffer too many things, and I'm definitely not enlightened. But even if you fail your goals, you fail your steps towards the goals. The point is to understand and then do something to make it do something better so that you can achieve your goals. Again, depending on how specific your goals are, will determine how hard they are to achieve. If you do very difficult ones and you are suffering from it, then you're not doing things right. It is. I guess the thing about him saying, being content means just not suffering. You can do whatever you want. Be content with what you have. Be content with what you're doing. Be content with the achievements and goals that you achieve. That way you never suffer from them if you fail or succeed. That's the way I think of contentment. Not to contain yourself, but just to be content.
So, Sadhguru, you have always emphasized on how important clarity is in comparison to confidence or courage. But for people our generation, confidence is something that's at a different level. Even when my nerves were racking to be here on the stage
Really?
with you. Yes.
They look so dangerous.
No.
Yes,
you're
Sadhguru,
safe.
you are.
I was only trying to scare him, not you.
So each of my friends emphasized on how confident I should be. So do you think that overration of confidence has led to undermining the importance of clarity?
Very much. See, confidence means this. Tell me, now the hall is reasonably well lit. If I ask you to walk from there to there, do you need confidence? No.
Clarity.
No. Do you need confidence?
No.
No. Why? Because you can see things clearly. If you turn off all the lights, make it pitch dark, if I ask you to walk from there to there, do you need confidence?
No.
You do. If I ask you to walk in total darkness on the street, don't you need confidence?
Yeah.
You do. Why? No clarity. So, somebody thought confidence is a substitute for clarity. You do one thing, let's say you can't see clearly, one of the main streets in Delhi you want to cross. How to build confidence? Well, you can say, Jai Shri Ram and run across the street. Or you can say, Allahu Akbar, or you can say, Hail Mary and run across the street. You may make it. You may make it just by sheer chance or because of the compassion of some driver. But if you try every day, we know where to pick you up. Hello? So I'm asking, is confidence really a substitute for clarity? The problem is like this, confidence means like this, you take a coin, flip it, heads I will do it, tails I'll not do it. There are a whole lot of people in the world who are doing this. The problem with the coin is it has only two faces. The problem with life is it has a million faces. So heads means I do it, tails means I don't do it. It looks like it solves your problem. But those who are right only 50% of the time in their life, there are only two professions left for them. They can either become a weather person, predicts weather, or you can become an astrologer. In any other profession, you're fired. In any other profession, if you're right only 50% of the time, you are fired, isn't it so? Hello? So, unfortunately, we think, see, it happens many times. If you just run across the street, you make it, that's the whole problem. There is an element of chance in life through which you can make it. But this is something young people must decide. Do you want to build your life on chance or on your competence? This is something you must decide. Very important. You didn't say anything. Huh? On competence or chance? If you even make it by chance, suppose you're successful by chance, you're always insecure and fearful, isn't it?
When it's my chance
If
to
you've
run
made
out.
it by your competence, then it's a different matter. If this doesn't work, we'll do something else. If that doesn't work, we'll do something else, because we built a competence. But if you're living by chance, then if you make it, you're fearful, you will lose the position. If you don't make it, of course, you know the pain.
Sadhguru, now
Okay, I'm gonna pause it right there. So yeah, I like that example of clarity. You know, I don't know why I struggle, even though I heard it many times. I understood it, but it's just like, how do I explain that? Confidence without clarity. Again, to go back to the contentment and the goals, it's I would say it's good to have a goal. Goals should not be the end of life. Goals should not be the major achievements of your life. It should be step by step, little goals to get you to a certain point in life. Easy goals so that you're not discouraged from it. But then again, you know, if you follow Eastern philosophy, and even though you fail and fail many times, I guess this goes to your determination of how much you want it, but to never be dissuaded from doing it because of the many failures. Just, you know, don't be dumb and do the same thing over and over again. Learn from your mistake so you can achieve getting over this hypothetical hump or brick wall or whatever it is that's stopping you from achieving your goal. And maybe that's not the right goal for you. You're just like, oh my gosh, you know, I've been doing this for so long, it's not working out for me. Let me try a different one. A lot of, you know, there are going to be some people out there saying, man, I spent 5 years of my life in this. This is terrible. I wasted my time. And this is where suffering happens. But if you can look at it in a way, it's like, well, I learned a lot in this 5 years. I may not have achieved my goal, but I've developed a lot of skills that I can use in other aspects of my life now. That's a good way of looking at it. Hopefully you don't suffer from it. Because obviously, you know, it takes time to do certain things. But again, unless you're enlightened, you may still suffer from it, but at least it won't be so bad. And again, my goal, my goal in life is reduce suffering. Elimination can achieve. Maybe I can. You know, I'll try. Look, I'll try. But I'm just saying. You know, I look at things realistically. If for some odd reason all my suffering's removed and I'm not even trying, that is amazing. But I do understand that if suffering happens, at least I understand I was expecting it and I don't suffer so much for suffering, if that makes any sense whatsoever. So I hope that's the kind of perspective that you have, that you look things in the positive sense, that you may have spent 5 years of your life trying to achieve something, and hopefully during those 5 years of doing that you've learned something too. Those skills may or may not come in handy, but at least you have them. So anyway, that's part 1 of this. If you like my content, please consider subscribing, thumbs up, thumbs down below. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next vid.